Hello there,
Hello.
family and friends,
We're
church
gonna
folk.
stop saying 7 because it's
We're
so
just going to say
rarely
we'll see you
is
tomorrow.
7.
Not today, we won't say that, but
Tomorrow
normally next week.
evening, not tomorrow.
We'll just say, see you soon.
See you
Because
next
as you
time.
know, we
You
aren't 7 o'clock right now. We're
Can't
at 7 o'clock.
predict what we're gonna do.
It's okay though.
Today,
But tell them why, Shantae.
at 7 o'clock, we were sitting on our porch with our lovely friends Bill and Susie Means, and she made us a pound
Look at
cake.
this mug. It's still warm.
It is still warm. She brought it all the way from Covington, still warm.
I'm about to take a bite on screen. It's about
happening.
to change my life. You ready?
So we had real friends in real life sitting on our porch, and I have to tell you now, real friends in real life supersede virtual friends
That's
that can watch
legit.
it anytime. Sorry, but not sorry.
No, this would change your life if you took a bite of it.
We wish you could, but
Oh
you're
my
not here.
goodness.
We would share with you if you were here, but you're
I
not
wouldn't
here.
share. Susie.
Yum.
Oh, heavens. Shantae's going to do the Bible study tonight by herself.
It's really good.
I'm not even sorry. You're going to sit here, all five of you are going to watch me eat this cake by myself. So good.
So dramatic. It is delicious.
Oh, it's delicious. I love
Susie
it.
used to be a caterer, and so this is like legit.
Oh, for real.
Actual
Bill and
cake.
Susie are too. They're
Actual
wonderful.
professionally done.
They were going to try to watch in the car as they drove away, but
They were like, "We're really sorry we ran
be
you
careful
away."
when you drop.
No, don't be sorry. Also, don't watch us while you're driving. That might be dangerous.
What's that song? I'm sorry. Not sorry.
Jonathan
I'd
mentioned
make
he would
you-
make you share it.
Jonathan
Jonathan,
Underwood.
I would make you a piece of this cake right now. if you
Jonathan,
were
I'll
on
give you
our porch.
$20 if you drive to my house right now.
Please
and
come
eat a
and
piece
have
of
some
this
cake with us.
Come on, bro.
How many years has it been?
For those that
Really?
don't know Jonathan Underwood, Jonathan, he was in my inaugural youth group class.
Wow.
Jonathan, we learned together.
You
didn't
guys
we, bro?
really earned your
Ah.
jewels in your crown from being in that group.
Me, Jonathan, and a bunch of young children. So little. They were so
Yeah.
little. Had a good
Jonathan
time,
was
though.
present on our first camping trip as a youth group. That was
Jonathan, do you
before-
remember when you left your stanky shoes in the tent before we got in the tent? We had a boys' tent and a girls' tent.
For hours.
I got in the tent. I was like, "What died in here?" Here's Jonathan's shoes. Learned on that trip. Carolyn, it is yummy.
It really, y'all. It really. I was gonna eat one bite for effect, but I really might eat this the whole time. It's delicious. If you don't know Susie Means, you should. She's usually on here, but now she's driving home because we kept her at our house too late to get
Front
home
porch
for
on
this
Friday nights. Front porch Friday nights. It's like a country song.
Friday night front porch.
I had just taken time to take my ferns down, leaving them rained on, which was lovely. We finished up our garden. That's why we're looking a little,
We look rough today. Sorry.
gardeny.
We were
Y'all, that garden's looking good.
in our minds, we were gonna finish the fence in the garden, clean up, see Bill and Susie, be fresh for this. But look
We
what
got-
happened.
we
We
got
made
here-
about half of that happen.
But look at the size of that for the 7 that are
Now
there
we
now.
have cake. Before
Massive.
dinner, I might add. We have not eaten dinner.
I'm not even worried. I could eat another piece of this and be calm. How was everyone's Friday? Blake's here. Blake? Blake's got a busy day tomorrow.
I'm gonna put this down.
Right here. No, next Wednesday.
Well,
So,
he's keeping his kids too, so that's busy.
Hey, but we're watching your kids, I hear.
Sunday night.
I heard about it.
The gates of spending the night with cousins have reopened for the Heralds and Stinnett. So if you're not okay with it, don't judge us. We're okay with
You
it.
can't judge us.
You can judge us. It's
See
still
how far
gonna
that
happen.
gets you.
Sorry,
Oh,
something. I keep
Something
something's
biting.
happening.
Look,
Yeah,
we're
something's
gaining.
biting
You
me.
scratch your back, we gain audience. 7 to 9.
Wow. Michelle's bringing ice cream.
Come on. Michelle.
I think
Kim?
for front porch cake.
Ken Walls would love this.
He would love it, actually. It's like sour creamy pound cake. I don't know if it's got sour cream in it or not, but it has that taste to it. It's crunchy.
Great
on the
people.
outside.
Wonderful people. Wonderful.
We're
Yeah.
gonna make this a food critic
We should do
show
that.
now. Just bring us food and we'll eat it and you can watch
We'll,
us.
we'll pray over the food.
These 11 people can
It's up
watch
to
us
11.
eat cake.
Friday
live.
night's getting wild here. What are y'all doing on Friday night? You see, for anybody that used to wonder, because clearly I think most people look at Danny and Shantae and think, wow,
Yeah,
I bet they go to massive clubs on Friday nights.
that's it. That's us.
Well,
Wild-
COVID changed
wild
some
life.
things for us, okay? Had to hang up some of our clubbing scene. But if you want to know what our Friday nights look like,
This is pretty much it.
this is it. I love my life. Hashtag I love my life.
Sometimes we go out for pizza because we're wild. Look at Susie Means. Man, y'all made
Susie,
good time, or you have good service in your car. Either way.
what's up?
Heather's watching a movie.
What movie you watching, Heather? Is it a good one?
Just awkward personal question time.
Awkward random delay here. I'll
We're
wait.
literally gonna eat this whole piece
I'm just
of
gonna
cake
eat this.
while you guys wait.
Isn't that
Should
the
we
purpose?
start since it's
Oh, Shantae.
so late.
Always rushing into things. Look, people are having
We
a
don't have
blast.
to
You can
rush.
tell.
Having a blast.
Me and Heather are having a great conversation. She asks a question, and I answer, and I ask her a question, and 3 minutes later she answers. It's a good.
Not awkward at all. And then other 12 people just get to watch live.
What? Spencer Confidential. Heather, what kind of movies? Was that lightning?
No, it was.
What
She
kind of
thinks
movies
she
you watch?
thinks.
Oh, you think? I'm not gonna lie, I've never heard of it. Is it good?
We can't judge. We'll watch almost anything if it's on.
Y'all, if we're
on
good at something,
Netflix, and
It's not
TV
judging
is our
people.
strong game.
We do watch some TV though.
Sometimes it's like you watch a show and you're thinking, I can't get that hour of my life back.
I'm so happy right now.
You're not even talking about
Do you
it.
do this? Hey, which part of I always save, just so y'all know. I don't know if anybody cares. Like if this was a piece of cake and it made a
I'm
triangle
just
this
going
way.
to torture you with this.
I start at the beginning and eat the cakey part first and
I do
save
the
the
same.
bottom crunchy crust part for the last.
Same, everybody does that, right? Doesn't
Somebody
everybody
on
do
here is
that?
going to disagree.
This storm is getting serious out here. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's loud.
The thunder rolls and the lightning strikes. Shanna, welcome. Did you hear that thunder at your house? You're across the way.
Danny's eating cake. That's it. You haven't missed anything. I'm eating
Let them
cake
eat
too,
cake.
actually, but he's not doing anything but eating cake. Miss Susie, this cake needs to happen at whatever church function we have food available. Whenever we're allowed to do that.
Mark Wahlberg. It'll be a good one. I'm a fan of
Justin
Mark.
found it on Netflix.
Justin.
We might be able to watch it. Let us
Justin-
know how it goes.
Sing it, Garth. I got you, girl.
We're always looking for Netflix suggestions.
Always looking for Netflix. I'm a Garth Brooks fan. We watched a special on him the other night. Well, for a little while. I changed the channel.
Was I here for that?
Was that somebody else?
Yeah.
The Cowboys.
It was your other wife. Who else would it have been?
Sometimes I introduce my children.
You say this every night. It's not funny.
Never mind. You're a nerd.
What were you going to say?
No. Hurt my feelings.
I know. No, I did not. You're just eating cake. I'm sorry. Something
Oh,
really
great. We're down to
is
11. We
attacking
better
me.
hurry up. We're going to lose everybody. I'm for real.
It's
Forget y'all
because
here.
nobody wants to watch you eat cake. But
Let them eat
it
cake.
is
Some old
delicious.
lady said that. All right.
Some old lady.
Galatians, Ephesians, Philippians, Colossians. Come back, people. Come back. Usually we talk about the Bible and people leave. Now we're eating cake and they leave.
Well, we've done this for 79 weeks, so
This is good.
It's a
Masters,
miracle
be
that-
fair to your slaves. Run with that one. That'll
No.
be a good time.
no.
All right, here we go. Colossians chapter 4. As I eat this cake and
It's okay.
drink this coffee.
Let it go.
Couple verses I want to stick out. One is right at the beginning. Colossians chapter 4.
Whoa, talk slower. I can't understand you.
Colossians chapter 4. After you get through the masters and slaves thing, because that's not my style. In verse 2. Devote yourselves to prayer with an alert mind and a thankful heart. Pray for us too, that God will give us many opportunities to speak about his mysterious plan concerning Christ. And that's why I'm in chains. That's why he's talking about master and slaves. He's actually in prison here. Pray that I will proclaim the message as clearly as I should. Paul's he's pretty sincere. He's pretty genuine. He's actually in prison praying for strength to continue to do the things that the Lord has called him to do. But I like that first part of the phrase there where it does say, pray with sincere and thankful heart. I found the condition of your heart can have an effect on your prayers and the other way around.
Definitely.
The other way around. Your prayers can change the condition of your heart. So anyway, with that, I pass to my left.
Pass to your left. Okay, well, he goes on, one of my favorite parts of Colossians, verse 5 and 6. Walk in wisdom toward those who are outside, redeeming the time. Let your speech always be with grace, seasoned with salt, that you may know how you ought to answer each one. So he's giving the Christians in this church specific instructions about how they should deal with outsiders or people who are not Christians. And he's telling them to be always ready to give an answer and be aware of the way that they're speaking. And so I think today that still applies. I think you need to always be aware of how you're speaking to everybody. Are you coming to me or just coming to the cake?
That was the crust part. That was the crust.
The crust.
My favorite part.
It is delicious crust. But he's saying, be aware of the way you're speaking to outsiders for a couple of reasons. A, you are the face of the body of Christ to the people in your life. So y'all be nice. Don't. Is there any more you need to say about that? Be nice. And not just the words you say.
How's your translation say it again?
The
I like
words that you type on social media. Please be nice. You're representing, if you're a Christian and that's who he's talking to, you're representing us all as a body.
Jesus. Represents Jesus.
And if you're not being nice, then that's a problem.
Yep.
Mine says, walk in wisdom toward those who are outside, redeeming the time. So make the most of your time.
Yep.
Let your speech always be with grace, seasoned with salt, that you may know how you ought to answer each
That's
one.
good.
And I think that he says grace and the salt part because he doesn't want you to be boring. I think the salt can mean a lot of different things in this context, but to me, he's saying use grace, but make what you're saying important and keep it seasoned, like interesting. Don't be dull. And he's saying use your time wisely
Yeah.
to reach the people who are around you in the right way.
Yeah.
And there's really not much we can elaborate on that. It still applies almost verbatim the way that he said it. So I really don't have to elaborate. A lot of us struggle with this, just controlling our tongues, but also taking opportunity to say the good things when you have the opportunity is important.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, I'm going to take a bite of cake. You have to talk now.
Not much to say after that. You nailed it. I think there is something to this. I know it's Friday night and I'm eating cake on the front porch and the thunder's rolling in the background. So the shortest sermon I'll preach all night. Some people need to talk less. Talk less. God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. I think the world would see more of Jesus if more Christians would talk less and listen more. We spend too much time arguing and bickering and giving the devil wins about things that are big and important, but aren't about Jesus. And meanwhile, I think Jesus himself would say to some, maybe even, there's only 10 of us, this is a small crowd, to some people that might see this sometime in the future, he might even whisper, hey, shh, it's okay. So I'd encourage that. I like that phrase in yours. Mine says, let your conversation be gracious and attractive so that you will have the right response for everyone. Y'all, we've read through the whole, wait, am I? Yes, First Thessalonians. We've read through the whole book. Like, we've read through some books of Paul. We all know this. Paul gets straight to the point. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't sugarcoat stuff. He doesn't mamby-pamby stuff and say, let's all hold hands and sing Kumbaya. He's legitimate. So there are many times in this actual book that we've just read where he gets directly to the point and says, this is black, this is right. This is right, this is wrong. Don't do this, do this. It's not a matter of, like, make sure everybody's happy all the time. That's not what he's saying. He's saying to the church family, we got to have the discipline there. But like you said just a minute ago in the verse 5 there, he says, live wisely among those who are not believers and make the most of every opportunity. He knows that the things that we say and the attitude that we have and the tones that we use will have an effect on those around us and how they experience the Christian faith. So he's saying, let it be seasoned with salt. And then I'm almost done for real because it's Friday night. But I like that, and I've tried to think just on the right now in the last like 3 seconds. I'm trying to think of some people in my life that I would describe as having like a seasoned salt type of conversation. You know, like people, like if I think, man, who are some people that when they talk, I listen because I know it's going to be valid. 2, they're not just talking to talk to hear themselves or typing or hashtagging or whatever. But like, you know, I'm talking about like the people that you're like, man, that was good. I mean, there are a few of those folks, I think, in every stage of my life where I think there's something about it almost attractive. This is a fun conversation. What's the most attractive, other than mine, what's the most attractive accent that you hear?
Oh, really? This is where this went
Come on.
straight from
Like,
Colossians.
what's the most accent where you're like, or if you could have anybody read you a bedtime story. This is for the 12 watching now.
Do you really? This is really a
Who
turn.
would you
You're
want?
taking a real turn.
I'm not talking. You can go weird and say like Selma Hayek. I mean, just saying something like that. Penelope Cruz. I'm just throwing that out there. Woodpecker. Or you could say like Morgan
Hagel
Freeman.
Socials.
You know what I'm talking about? Because he's got the deep kind of thing.
That's a weird question, and you're framing it weirdly.
I am.
Bedtime story? Probably Morgan Freeman.
Morgan
Not
Freeman
gonna
taught
lie.
me to sleep, Lord.
But Australian
Aus-
is super cool. So
Australian
let's just
actually
say.
is proven to be the #1 accent. That
I
people
mean,
like
other
more.
than you, babe.
Uh,
That's sweet, right?
Did you get that coffee cup?
But
Lean in.
also Australian.
But I think it might be good to think about that and to think, okay, who in my life?
Well, I don't know where you got that
has
from. Colossians 7.
Well, let me say, I don't either. I just kind of went on a limb. But who in my life has the type of voice I'm like, man, that's an attractive voice. Not in an attractive, like, hey, I want to date that person voice in this context. But in the idea of like,
borderline weird conversation that you're having with yourself.
this is my train of thinking, and we're down to 8. Like, this is my train of thinking. Like, it's getting less and less and less. But I wonder, like,
I think that what Paul's trying to say is be the
Always
kind
back
of
to Paul.
person that when you speak, people want to listen to you, and it's because you have something valid to say.
You don't think it has
not
anything to do with
just
the accent?
because you. No.
Okay.
I've never read this verse and thought, I bet it's because they're cool accents.
I was making
Maybe
a
they
point.
sound
I was
British.
tying it around. I was gonna
Go ahead, tie the bow.
I was gonna chase that circle.
Chase the circle.
I'm
Finish.
gonna chase that tail, like a dog chases his tail, round and round and round.
Oh, we're on this adventure together. I want to hear. Go.
And I got to figure out what I was going. I don't know. I lost my way. It's like Michael Scott. It's like sometimes I start a sentence, I don't even know where I'm going to finish. I don't know how I'm going to finish
That's
the
exactly
sentence.
what that
I just
is.
keep going around and around. But
Why,
no,
while
I
you
think
think about it, my Bible says that
going to the notes.
one
Cheater.
application is it could be a reference to Saul as stinging the conscience and awakening a lost world to an awareness of the choice between sin and righteousness. So in that application, he's not saying be nice to everybody and just ignore the facts and make everything seem happy and sugary sweet. He's saying be prepared to say something of substance and say it in a tactful way that is not intrusive or hurtful,
yeah.
but actually be able to say, well, actually, this is black and this is white.
Yeah.
And here's why I believe it, and this is the
Yeah.
gospel. Now you tie
And
your
it ties it in. Well, it ties it in well, I think, with what we talked about the last couple
Something
nights.
that's fighting me.
She said tie the bow. Heather said tie the bow. I'm
Just
not gonna lie.
tie the bow.
I thought you mistyped Tim Tebow. I'm not gonna lie. That's the
From
first thing that
here,
came to mind. I was
it
like,
does
Tim
look
Tebow. I mean, he's an attractive guy, but the voice, not so much. Anyway, that's just me. I know he married a supermodel. I get it. Like, I get it. But Miss Universe or whatever her name is from South Africa. But my thinking is, when it comes to this, I have no idea. I'm out.
A, D, D. A,
Hey,
A,
D, 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 D.
What were you saying? It was an accent, something about an accent.
I think the Lord
that
wants
people
us
speak.
to have the type of speech. Like, for some of us, we would hear it, like when I was just joking around a minute ago. When I said, like, the type of person that makes you, like, go, that's an attractive sounding. It's not a physical thing at all.
It just gets your attention.
Gets your
Always-
attention.
okay.
Somebody, when they speak, you're like, oh my goodness, I've never heard anything like that before. It reminds me of the story of the Ethiopian when Philip is walking down the road, and this guy from Ethiopia comes
In
by,
the
his
Bible,
Ethiopian eunuch in the
everybody.
Bible. This isn't like a buddy of mine, in the Bible. And he's reading the Bible as he goes by. He's reading the Bible.
And it kind of stops him in his tracks. And he's
stops
like,
him.
what is, that's what's biting me.
Was it really?
I guess.
a big old
Something's
spider.
been biting me this whole time. Great.
We'll see what happens. But he's riding by on a chariot, and he's reading the actual Bible, and Philip says, hey, what are you reading? He says, I'm reading Scripture. I'm reading the book of Isaiah. And Philip says, do you want me to tell you what that book means? Now, hear this. I don't know what Philip's accent was like. It was probably Galilean, something like that. But it was the context, like the content of what he was sharing with him,
Right.
that radically changed this man's heart. Like,
And he
this
was
man went
baptized
from
that
reading
day.
reading it on paper, then he heard it personalized with this other guy said, oh, I've lived this. I have experienced. Let me tell you my story. Something happens
And
there.
Philip
you
was
know?
prepared to do that.
Philip
In that
was
moment,
prepared,
he
just
took
like
attention
Paul's
to
saying here.
the Ethiopian and took the time to call him aside and say, here's what this means to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a perfect example of what Paul is saying.
One of the things I've
Don't
realized.
be so hurried.
Don't be
or
so hurried.
Focused on your agenda
The
that
person
you
right in
miss
front of
the
you.
person who needs to hear the gospel.
Yeah. And I don't know how we're going to get that back because I used to, for real, this is a kind of not really serious, just semi-serious. My prayer back when I used to go into Walmart, you know what I mean, back in those days. And
Inside of
like
Walmart,
I would go inside
remember?
Walmart, and for a while I was challenging myself, and I'd pray in the morning when I knew I was going to Walmart for a lot of reasons. But I was like, Lord, when I meet the person at the cash register, specifically, I don't know why, that was just on my heart for a while. I said, let me be aware of the words that come out of his or her mouth. And how many times when I prepared for that conversation, in the midst of that conversation, something that man or woman would say that would hit me on the inside and make me go, that's a conversation starter.
Mm-hmm.
Usually I would say, like, how are you doing today? And without fail, somebody would say, well, it's okay. I've had better. I don't know how things are going. Like, it was crazy. Like, if you're aware of those and you've prayed about that, to be able to have something positive or kind or hopeful to say in response.
Well, there's
I
a
would do it.
world of things can happen when you are truly intentional when you're speaking to another person. It doesn't matter what person it is, stranger, family member. When you can stop what you're doing and be intentional about that conversation,
Yeah.
it's such a better setting and real communication can happen. And I think what Paul is saying is, hey, Christians,
Yeah.
be intentional when you have conversations with people who are not Christians.
Yeah.
Be ready for them to ask a question and for you to have a valid, real
Yeah.
answer from your
Yeah.
experience.
Because
And
something
sometimes
happens
that is just a conversation
when
with the
that
cashier.
happens. Yep.
Yeah.
And we do, and I think we're going to see this, y'all, as we keep going back to church buildings, which is coming, and getting back to sporting events and things like we had 6 months ago. But let's just be honest for a second. Hopefully we're honest for a lot of seconds. Like, we just ate pound cake and had an awesome conversation with really good friends on our porch for a little while that drove very likely an hour to get here. But y'all, that says something to me. Like, to me, that says, like, one, they care about us. Two, they know we like pound cake and food. Three,
We do
they
love
wanted
them.
to hang out. You know, like, in a world that is so often, even in the midst of COVID-19, is so often, gotta go, gotta here, gotta click on the next screen or
Separated.
move to the next
Yeah.
chat room or keep going. Y'all, I think it's more than ever that people will notice when you actually, like, a literal
An
rocking chair on our front
intentional
porch.
conversation.
But an intentional, like, I care about what you were saying right now. And I value whatever, even, this is hard, even if you disagree with what's being said. Like, I'm not saying, you know me, like, I don't agree with a whole lot of stuff. There's a chance I get frustrated every time I watch the news about something. Like, trust me,
Such a good chance.
there's a 100% chance. But knowing that Jesus calls us to be like Jesus, and Jesus
Right.
always took the time to take value in the conversation that he was having, whether it was a little kid or a person with leprosy or a king. Everybody was on the same level playing field, and that's impressive to me. That's very impressive to me. So
Well, I think
that's our dog.
Yeah,
Back.
he's-
You see, there's Coop.
there's Cooper. He's a little nervous about the storm, so he's close. The
He
kids
is.
just
Look at him.
open the door, let him out, close the
Coop,
door.
look, you're on the world wide web. There's 8
I-
people watching you right now, Cooper.
I feel like the one thing that we can all agree on is how much contact with the people that we love, we miss it. We had taken it for granted, and now we're like, man, just to sit in the presence of your family
Yeah.
is a really big gift. I mean, just to get out. We were with our family with birthdays last night and cousins and grandparents. That's how far we've kind
And
of
that's the first
expanded our
time
world.
in-
Is to Uncle Zachary said hello,
Uncle
Cooper.
Zach said, "Hey, Coop."
To like next to immediate family, and occasionally we have people come and sit on our porch and see them in real life and have a real life. And I just want to encourage everybody, to whatever extent that you're able to do that. Some of us are in different positions and we're
Yeah.
more at home still than the others, and some of us are more out than the others. But do be intentional about opportunities to actually like look into the faces of the people in your life and set aside some intentional time to, if you can sit on their front porch or back porch or outside at a campfire, do that.
Yeah.
Or if it's something that you need to still do through a screen, you can definitely make that happen.
Absolutely.
But be intentional about those connections, because
And
I
know
think
that-
that those
yeah.
connections matter to us more
Yeah.
than we ever
They absolutely
thought.
matter to us, and they matter to God. God is big. He's a fan of community and belonging.
Yeah.
One of the things that if you, and it's up to 10, like one of the things that you might notice if you ever get to talk to me on Sunday mornings is Shanti and I usually try to stand at the doors at our church, and we try to say hey to everybody as they leave. Well,
Hey, y'all,
I mean,
y'all.
for a few months there was about 400 people leaving. You know what I'm saying? So like that's a lot of people to try
A
to
lot
say
of
bye
hugs
to.
and handshakes.
So one of the
waves.
things that you'll see, and I've tried to do this in other areas of my life as well. True story. Even with my wife and with my kids, like all the way down to like very personal level, is that a lot of times that's the only chance I get to see most folks at the church is in that
in that
30-second
moment.
line on the way out the door. So a lot recently, and me and Rob worked. He helped me with a lot of this. On the way out, a lot of times people say, "Hey, I'd like to talk to you. Hey, I'd like to do hey to that." So I've tried to start this new thing where I say, "If you would, please text
Remind
me
me.
tomorrow. Please send me a text." It's not because I don't care. It actually is because I really do care. Please shoot me a text or an email or call me tomorrow because I want to set something like this up. Because you know that, like in the midst of some things, like life's just going do. I have a hard time saying,
Don't
yeah,
retain
I know I'm
information
free
very
next
well.
Tuesday at 3:00. But to be intentional about that like at times we're going to be busy. Like that's life. But in the midst of those busy moments, even with your kids, to say, I can't do that right now because I have a lot of other things going on. But in just a little while, and then the hardest part for me has been, and it can happen, I just have to be intentional about it, is,
There it is. I would say the biggest change since we've been home all these weeks is that Danny had worked himself up to like 4 breakfast and 4 lunch meetings a week. I mean,
Yeah.
he would
We'd
meet
meet
you
all
for
the time.
breakfast or lunch if he could. And so And he still will if you're up for it and you need to visit. But I think we want to open ourselves up to that again.
Yeah.
If you need a visitor, if you need a Zoom call or FaceTime, you know, reach out to us. If you
That's
need,
right.
if you're lonely, reach out to us. This is why we're here, and it's what we would say on a Sunday on the way out the door
That's
to
right.
you.
Reach
We would
out.
love to hug all 400 of you right now. That's going to be a while before we can really do that.
Yeah.
But this is your official invitation. If
Come on.
you are lacking FaceTime with people in your life, let us know, and we will make it happen however that needs to happen.
That's right.
You know, our front porch is always open, and
Always
if
open.
you want to bake a cake and bring it by here, we
I'm
are
game.
not going to stop you.
I'm game. I'm not going
Not
to.
right now. You could bring us a cake. We'd
I wouldn't turn you away.
still eat it.
I'd eat a slice. I'd eat another one.
But seriously, this is part of what the church is about.
This is
so
a
we
big
want to
part
be
of what
really
the church is
intentional
about.
that for sure.
And that's what he says. So let us
Mm-hmm.
remember that as we go into the weekend. Let's have what is it? Speech that is seasoned well. You know, like talking that is seasoned well. I want us to be the type of people that when we speak, people go, I'm gonna
This
value
must
what
be
this person's
important.
saying because
Yeah.
this person values me. But also, they're saying something in a way that I've never heard it said before, or they're saying something that I've never heard said before.
And also, like you said earlier, you maybe don't have to always be talking or
Nope,
always
that's
be
right.
putting stuff out there into the world. I know it feels important to put it out there, but sometimes we just need to step away and live our life a little and let that happen too. And that gives
Whatever.
you more space in your heart and your mind for those actual intentional
That's right.
one-on-one connections that I think was what Paul was trying to
Your
get.
conversations with other
You're going to
people
influence people way better.
will be better and healthier and more spiritual and more
Happier.
godly if you talk to God about those people before you talk to them as well.
That's right.
So
That's very true.
spend time talking to the Lord before you talk to other people. It'll change your life.
Always.
All right, Friday night.
This was good,
This was
guys.
good. Thanks for hanging in there.
Thanks
Those
for
that are
watching
there.
us when we're
We will
doing yard
have
work.
church this Sunday, 10 o'clock at the Morgan County High School parking lot. It's going to be our last drive-in service. The next Sunday, which is June the 7th, the sun's shining on the trees.
see that.
On
It's
June the
pretty.
7th, we will have our first in-building service. This Sunday evening, I believe, we're going to be sending out an email with all the instructions for the next Sunday. So right now, just to avoid confusion,
focus
I'm trying to
on the
get through
high
this
school,
Sunday.
10 a.m.
This Sunday, high school, 10 a.m.
More information will come.
More
if you
information will
don't
follow.
receive our emails from Lake Point, you probably got one today that said something about, hey, Lake Point family, if you didn't get something like that today, you need to give us your email address
Yep, we'll
or
make sure we get that to you.
email admin@lakepoint.cc for updates, because we're going to ask people to RSVP, if at all possible, for the building services. That information will come after the high
After
school,
this
so
Sunday.
don't stress. Just know we need your email address so
Yep.
you can be updated and have access to that. We're just trying to keep all of our numbers very healthy.
That's right.
Yeah.
And we're going to keep trusting the Lord. We'll see
And we wanna
hopefully
see
a
you.
lot of you Sunday at 10 o'clock. And if y'all need anything, reach out to us. We're here for you. Have a great weekend, y'all. We'll be back Monday. And
Next week might be a little spotty. Our
Next week.
anniversary is next week, but Monday is on. So just,
anniversary.
you know how reliable we are about 7 o'clock.
First
But Monday should be good.
Monday will be great. All right, we'll get it figured out. Thankful for you. We'll see you next week if we don't see you Monday. Holla back.